Hi, Gemini Sun and Rising. Welcome to your February 2022 Astro Update. It's Raina here. I think this is the third time I've started this video. So as the month of February begins, your ruler, Mercury, is still retrograde. But this is only going to be until a third of the month. And this particular Mercury retrograde has seen Mercury go from Aquarius to Capricorn. And this happened during January, but it continues into the first few days of February. And Capricorn for you is the 8th house. And the 8th house is Scorpio's house in the universal chart. And it has all that. It's very witchy. It's very occult, metaphysical, magic. The things that go bump in the night, I guess you could call it. It's the house of transformation. You know, Scorpio's all about that. Pluto, one of the rulers of Scorpio, is all about that. Alchemy. And so with Mercury going from the 9th to the 8th houses, I can see a common thread because the 9th house is also about spirituality, but more conventional. I mean, that might not be a good way of putting it, but the organized religions. And, you know, because the organized religions are different, the different dogmas, if there's, I don't know if there's an S on that for the plural, but they are different types of philosophies. And that's what the 9th house is philosophy, the way that you choose to live life, the rules that you live by. So it can be your ethical framework that can fall into that. And hey, it's no surprise that the law is connected to the 9th house. The 7th house is more of like the actual courtroom activities, but the 9th house, I think, is the law itself. And going back into the 8th house, which can be shared resources, if somebody is dealing with an estate, a will, and there are some challenges to the will or just anomalies, whatever the case may be, that could be up for some kind of investigation. And perhaps you know the law and you are like, no, this isn't legal. That will is not notarized, so we've got some issues here. So, yeah, and that's the other thing, too, is that Mercury can be documents and, you know, like paperwork, and it's going from the 9th house to the 8th house. So there's this, I think there's also this research that might be happening about like, hey, you know, I'm going to do my own research because I can't seem to get a straight answer. And there's like, if there's anything going on that has to do with even other people, this can be about understanding things from a deeper perspective. The 9th house is like the bigger picture, and the 8th house is the shadow side. And, you know, with the idea of transformation, death is the ultimate transformation because there's, you know, it's not even being part of the material world anymore. So the person transforms from this very visible body to this invisible spirit. So these issues may come into your life for some reason. And, you know, because there is this Capricorn stuff going on and you have Pluto there, and Pluto is one of the rulers of the 8th house, naturally. At the time of this stationing direct of Mercury, it's going to be forming a conjunction with Pluto in that 8th house. So I really feel like there's going to be some deep resolution to some issue that has been on your mind or on your heart, Gemini. And it might involve somebody else. I mean, I think of the 8th house too as like hospice, where somebody goes to die. And of course, the funeral home too. But this can be like in terms of if somebody had planets in the 8th house and they were in the healthcare industry, I would say, oh, you probably would enjoy working in hospice or working in a funeral parlor, something where you come in contact with death, which sounds very, macabre or dark, but I don't mean it that way. I mean it as something where it's like almost making friends with death. And in this case, with Mercury going back there, it's really, for some of you, you have deepened your concepts of these, what we would almost call taboo subjects. And in the last dozen years or so, have really dived deep into this. And this is just continuing that with Mercury going direct here. But there might be some decision that has been made regarding, maybe signing on the dotted line for some kind of will situation, because you finally are satisfied that everything is on the up and up. Maybe you weren't sure before. So then on but I want to go back to that new moon in Aquarius, which is happening either on the 31st of January or the 1st of February, depending on where you live in the world. And this is the 9th house, and a new moon here can be connected to some kind of travel plans of a long distance variety. And that can feel like giving you a new lease on life. Maybe you are starting college or going back to college or something along those lines. The 9th house can be higher education. And then on the 14th, Mercury goes back into Aquarius. And that's nice because now it's going to form a trine to your sun or ascendant. And in the 9th house, that can be like some kind of passport. The 9th house is travel, long distance travel. So Mercury, with those documents, means that maybe you'll be able to get that passport. Perhaps there were shutdowns, as there have been with trying, government offices and things like that. So if you were delayed for a few weeks, now things may be going back on track and you're able to make progress in preparing for a trip. On the 16th, there's a full moon at 28 degrees of Leo. And so this is, for you, Gemini, the 3rd house, which is your house in the universal chart. In this particular case, your 3rd house is Leo. And a full moon here can bring you some kind of news. Because the 3rd house are your siblings, and, brothers and sisters, as well as other family members, aunts and uncles, cousins, there might be something that you hear from them about. And in some cases, if there has been a falling out due to maybe some kind of a will or something along those lines, you may cut ties with that person. You may see their true colors and decide that you don't need their negativity in your life. There's like a sense of finality with this because it's a late degree of Leo. You may be getting ready to say goodbye to where you live. Third house can be your local area. The fourth house is your actual house itself or the land. And you will be having a full moon here next month in March. And the bottom line is that just like I was drawing connections between the 8th and 9th houses, I sometimes draw connections between the 3rd and 4th houses. First of all, 3rd house can be siblings and other family members. 4th house can be the mother. And so there may be some kind of issues there. You hear something about them. You cut them out of your life because you're just, again, if you're dealing with some inheritance issue and something comes to light about their behavior, one of their behaviors, or maybe they're all kind of, ganged up against you. I'm not trying to fill you with paranoia or anything like that, but you know what I mean. And the other thing, too, with the local area, getting fed up, like, okay, that's the last straw. I'm tired of this happening in my community all the time. I'm done with this, and then, I'm going to sell my house. And that's a full moon in the next month. Just things like that. It could be some kind of a download coming to you, an idea that comes to you. On the 18th, the sun goes into Pisces. So that, for you, is the 10th house of career, the sun being here. So this is you feeling very confident and, being ambitious. And, let's see, there's other planets that I have been not really bringing up. Mars. Mars is in Capricorn all month of February. And so again, that 8th house is very activated with Mars. There's like this passion, like I want to read every book I can on reincarnation. I want to, or I don't know if reincarnation would be the 8th house, maybe the mysteries of the universe. Let's say that. And Venus is in Capricorn too, all month long. So Venus and Mars in the 8th house, that can be kind of sexy. That can be really tantric yoga or something like that. But even healing, forgive me, I was gonna say yoni eggs. But yeah, those kinds of things. But even with a partner, you have the divine lovers both in that 8th house, baby. So enjoy. And Mars in the 8th house, it could be like it's on, fighting over shared resources. Of course, you don't have to do that. You can let them wrestle in the mud, and you can be like the lotus that remains clean or just totally unblemished white in that mud. If you've ever seen a lotus up close and personal, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that you resonated with that. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings, which are 2 hours at least in length, an hour of natal chart interpretation, hour of transits for the next 12 months for a special price. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Take care. Bye.